Here's my review of Secret Invasion Episode 2. Just like the last episode, I really enjoyed the tone and just the overall feel of the show. In this episode, we mainly follow Gravik as he's being promoted into the Skrull world after the terrorist attack in London. And so he's being promoted throughout the rest of the Skrulls in their kind of like factions, in their kind of like landscape. Another character that we get introduced to, or get at least more of, is Sonya Falsworth, where she's actually in a bunch of scenes where she's torturing a Skrull for information on kind of where their hideout is that we saw in the first episode, and a lot of stuff like that. And that was a really interesting, really intense scene. Like when with the truth serum, or it actually is quite bloody at some points where she cuts one of the Skrull's fingers off to like see if it really is a Skrull, because they'll turn back once like they get really injured. And that was a really fun scene. And I really like this scene on the train with Nick and Talos, as you kind of learn a lot more about Nick, because he kind of talks about his childhood and eventually kind of gets mad as like Talos is like saying how they do need a place to live. And because Talos is kind of in the middle, because he is with Fury, but at the end of the day, the Skrulls are his people. And then Nick is obviously really upset because this would still be an alien invasion, and obviously he doesn't like that. So there is a lot of like back and forth dynamic between the characters, which I really enjoyed. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought that it was a lot of fun. I love the characters. And the big twist at the end, we find out that Nick Fury has a wife. Or at least we find out that she's still alive. I don't even know if she's ever been mentioned, but we find out that that he has a wife, and that's new information for the most part into us. And overall, I really enjoyed this episode. Also, we do get a scene with Gia, Emilia Clarke's character, where she is kind of looking into some of the Skrulls, and we know that she's also a Skrull, but where she's kind of like seeing the Super Skrulls, and that's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this episode, but I am a little worried because, I mean, the next week is already the mid-season finale, and it still feels like these shows need a lot more episodes, and especially with the story that feels like this should be very grand and very big, it feels like it needs a lot more episodes. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a lot of fun. Although I think I do prefer the first episode to this one. I still really liked it, and I did like that torture scene that we're finally getting some more gore in the MCU. It does feel a little bit more mature, and overall, I enjoyed it, and I thought it was pretty decent.